Who let this two-stroke motor into the studio? Yeah, here, Spanky, you want to say something to the people at home?
That's what you got to live with for the rest of the time.
That was a mistake. Hello, my name is Fred Stewart, and welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens. With me, as always, my lovely co-host.
It's me. It's Taylor.
Hi, Tay. And with us, with us running cameras and sound is Bill Bernard.
Howdy, howdy.
That was disgusting. That might have been the grossest way this episode, the show's ever opened. So Taylor watches his dog once a week. His name is Spanky, and he's a little Frenchie. So if you hear
for about 6 hours a week,
if it hear what sounds like a two-stroke running in the background, it's him.
trying to breathe.
That or it's just me like being like, that's really interesting.
Oh, you fucking like that?
Oh yeah.
Spanky, do you want to say something again to the people at home? I'm going to cover my mic this time like a deathcore vocalist. Like, you still tried.
Yeah, he does that.
Do you want a gross pop filter?
Nope.
Okay.
That's yours. That's all yours.
All right.
That's you.
That was your choice.
This is some like behind the scenes HGO trivia. And I think, Taylor, you might be the only one that knows it. So the microphone that I use for the show is the same microphone that I've used the entire time I played music. Okay. It was the very first microphone I ever used in my first band.
Wow.
So it is very old, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but if we cut to a close-up, notice how it's not fucking circular? There's a bunch of dents.
Oh, yeah.
It's not supposed to look like that. I'm gonna put this back on, so if you hear what it sounds like, if you have auditory issues, you're going to hate this next part. If you don't and you love them, you're fucking weird.
You've got a future in ASMR.
Anyway. Well, pop filter broke anyway.
It's probably fine.
It's fine. I do have a news story that I want to cover this week. Just off the rip.
Don't be dumb.
Listen.
Come here.
People like what they like. You know, sometimes people are into some strange things.
Uh-huh.
But forcing those upon people is not okay.
Yeah.
And thus is the case in California, in Burbank, where a man named Kalesi Karen Crowder, age 38, was arrested by officers from the Burbank Police Department at the Walmart located on Empire Center shopping center on Victory Place. Basically, he had gone to the Nordstrom Rack shopping center, right? Uh-huh. Was kind of loitering around in the women's department. And what had happened is that he was going up and he was smelling people's butts.
Oh, yes. I had heard about butt sniffer.
Butt sniffer? Officers used store security cameras to follow the man around. Various departments observed him following a female customer in the women's department. Officer observed the man as he crouched down behind a woman engaged in lewd behavior by inappropriately sniffing her buttocks. He was arrested, and he was... Surprise, surprise, he was a resident of Glendale and already a sex offender. Not that all people of Glendale are sex offenders, but it just seems about right.
Yeah, man.
Great.
That's pretty wild because, like, to me, it's one thing to have... It's like one thing to have a foot fetish. It's another thing maybe to be like... I like your sniff. Did I just reveal something about myself?
Did you spend too much time in like the South? I like your sniff.
I like your sniff.
I like your sniff.
No. But what I can say is that I feel like I'm one of those people where I'm not that strange of a person. I can conclusively say that. But it's like, I don't feel like I have a lot of people who would come rushing to my aid to, like, help a brother out when he's, like, facing some crazy accusation. Like, yeah, you know, Bill, maybe he doesn't sniff butts, but I heard he likes to lick doorknobs. I don't lick doorknobs. And I'm sick of people telling me that I do. But it's like... That's like a whole sort of strange behavior that I just can't really rationalize because you can't really get consent just by like going and sniffing people. But if you want to do that, I'm sure there's a place for it. And if not, someone needs to capitalize on it and get some money.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're just going to ask people if they can sniff their butt, you're probably going to get a hard no.
Yeah.
Most times, but maybe there's someone.
Yeah. Yep.
There's another story I did want to cover that I just remembered.
Okay.
So this is out of Wisconsin. So police responded to a home in Wisconsin as a unusual home intrusion involving a gang of multiple masked suspects. And while this reads like it's going to be some sort of horrific home invasion, it is not. So the Wausau Police Department basically arrived on scene and discovered that multiple raccoons had made their way into a home on the city's east side.
Swipe or no swiping.
Yeah, swipe or no swiping. And 2 lookouts were spotted loitering on the roof, almost taunting officers. That was in the police report. Police said no arrests were made, but the raccoons did receive a firm warning to vacate the premises. This was largely ignored.
Yeah.
And the guy, I actually saw this on the actual news like last night, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world because it's just like, oh, I was out there and I look and there's a couple of raccoons and I go, oh, there's about a couple of raccoons coming in, and then they just kept coming in. They were just like, they were opening stuff and eating stuff. It's like, fucking get a broom, like just push them outside.
Like I'm thinking to myself, is that normal? Is that normal raccoon activity to be like going into places, or is this like something where I just learned about the term not that long ago, but it's like it's not like late stage rabies, but there's like something where a raccoon can have stuff as simple as like they're in like a form of paralysis to something to like that mimics rabies and whatnot.
Well, let me ask the only person I know that knows more about animals than anything else. Taylor?
Oh.
All right. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the jury's out on the rest, but that's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so police basically they shoot all the raccoons away. Mm-hmm. And then they shot one 15 times and planted a gun on them. And, yeah.
Quit reaching!
Don't reach! All right. Never mind. Too dark. So Tay, you're giving us our episode today.
I sure am.
And I when I was like, what are you writing about? I went and looked and I was like, oh yeah, I'm surprised we've never talked about this.
I was also surprised.
I feel like this is a thing we would have probably brought up during like our Pacific Northwest episodes, but I guess not.
Yes, but also no, because it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. I don't know what they are, but I'm ready to hear about them.
What do you think it is?
I would say if I had to take a guess about what they are, it's not Sasquatch because I've yet to see one of those. I don't know why, but I immediately was like swamp monkeys or something. But I'm like,
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Maybe I am, but I even feel a little weird about saying that.
Have you heard? I'm sorry, we're getting off track for a second. Have you heard all the people coming up with slurs for robots?
Oh yeah, clankers. Yeah, I've heard about it.
Rust monkeys. Yeah, that one's bad. Why do they get bad? But clankers is great when they go to like Myers and they're like the little robot going around. They're like clanker.
I have an ongoing vendetta with the cleaner robot at the Tigered Winko. I always
specifically the Tigered Winko.
That is the Winko I go at. Great bargains, great deals, and they're replacing human workers with robots. Grab up your water buckets and pour them on the robots.
That is an official statement by Hans Graves and Omens.
Aren't you on this side of town? Why are you going to the Tigered Winko?
Well, I work over here, but I live like close to the where the Portland VA is.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's where.
Well, I guess that
that
makes sense then.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I would be upset too if the Winko at 122nd had robots. I'd be like, they're taking over.
They might actually. You know what?
Germs.
No, they're not gonna have them at the 122nd one.
So
they're gonna get stolen.
Yes.
They're gonna be not there very long.
I think I'm just gonna take this home.
Yeah, I need the copper.
I need the copper.
The scrap metal, like that's it's.
And then you just see a Roomba on the side of the street, and it's like, "We'll suck dick for scraps." And you're like, "All right, I'm not gonna say no, little robot."
How old are you there, robot? Because I know a thing or two about vacuums, and they lose their suction after some time, especially if you're not cleaning out all of the filters.
You got a bag or you're bagless?
You get a bag, or you're about to get this bag. Hit them streets, bitch.
Being a robot Roomba pimp is the funniest idea. But no, it's not.
I completely lost track of where we were going.
Sasquatch. It's not
It's
that.
not Sasquatch because Bill's never seen Sasquatch. That's
Yeah.
why.
Okay.
I've never seen a bird riding a motorcycle. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Wait. Okay.
I think Big Bird would look hard as fuck with like a leather jacket riding a
He
Harley.
would definitely be in a white supremacist biker gang. But no, it's not that. I will give you it. It is a combination of folklore and cryptids.
Oh fuck! I'm about it.
All
I'm
right.
about it.
So, but
All right.
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. We're talking about the Thunderbird.
The Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you know much about Thunderbirds at all.
I mean, I know that.
Not the military one.
No, not
Just making
that.
that clear. We're not talking about the military here.
I'm gonna date myself on this one. And I know it's not about the little marionettes that inspired Team America World Police. Not that. But like growing up in Seattle, I'm assuming that it's like the one that they reference on the totem poles
Yes.
and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Thunderbird itself is like a widespread figure of Native American mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of just within the United States and Canada, but there's also, they say it like goes down into Central America as well.
Okay.
So kind of just everywhere here.
Sure.
So the Thunderbird, for a little bit of history, if you don't know, is described as a supernatural being, and the history is that this enormous bird symbolized power and strength that protected humans from evil spirits. It's called the Thunderbird because of the flapping of its powerful wings sounded like thunder, and lightning would shoot out of its eyes.
Okay.
So cool, dude.
Pretty dope. The Thunderbirds brought rain and storms, which could be good or bad. Good
Sure.
when rain was needed, or bad when it came with strong destructive winds, floods, or fires caused by lightning.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, Thunderbirds are just big ass birds.
Big ass birds.
Like big, terrifying birds.
Yeah, I know there's like some condors and stuff out there that got like a wingspan of like 20 feet, but
10.
10. Okay, I stand corrected. 10. That's still a big bird. That's still a big bird. He keeps finding his way to get back here.
Someone say Bigford? Bigford, big bird.
Big bird.
Bigford is the guy that Bigford is a dude that sells illegal vapes to like underage kids.
Hey, you want to be cool?
Yeah, I want to be cool. I want to be just like Bigford.
So
Sorry, sorry, go ahead. I had to get that out. Also,
I just looked over.
Yeah, I got distracted because I said I'd never seen a bird on a motorcycle before, so I was like, all right, let's look it up. Bird on, you can come back to there you go. Bird on a motorcycle.
Hell yeah. That's
Hell yeah.
that's a bird that knows how to ride.
What?
Did you make that? Or you just find
I
it?
just found it. I said I'd never seen a bird on a motorcycle, so I was like, let's look it up. That's the first thing that popped up. That's gonna be
Great.
I'm gonna make this the fucking background of all of our things for the podcast.
So according to George M. Eberhardt's seminal Mysterious Creatures, A Guide to Cryptozoology. The wingspan of a thunderbird can be as much as 70 feet.
70 feet?
Yeah, so...
That's like 5 more than 65.
Yes, it is.
65 from? Okay. I need to not look at your tablet.
What do you mean?
I'm not looking.
I'm helping do research. For the
You're
show.
not.
I'm looking up
You're-
stuff.
Yeah, you're looking at whatever the fuck you want.
Just because it's a bird on a motorcycle doesn't mean I'm not paying attention. All right.
So
I know about the Thunderbird.
for comparison, the largest bird in North America is the California condor, which has a wingspan of 10 feet. That's why I corrected you.
Okay.
Because I did my research.
Okay.
The largest bird in the world, which is the wandering albatross, has a wingspan of 12 feet. You would have to go prehistoric to find a larger bird than that. Some Territorians had wingspans of 20 feet.
Okay.
Those don't exist no more.
Yeah.
But Thunderbirds are bigger than some planes. Okay? These are not little creatures.
Right.
These are not like... we've talked about so many cryptids. I'm sure we've talked about tiny cryptids. They're not those. Okay? These are giant.
So just for my own personal, like to direct or to imagine this. So you said that their wingspan is 70 feet,
Up to.
up to 70 feet.
Sorry.
This guy, the professional podcasters.
No, don't stand up again. Stinky.
The Cessna 172, one of the most common general aviation aircraft.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody knows what a Cessna 172 looks like, even if you don't know what it's called, a Cessna 172. Single prop. It's got a fucking
Right.
across.
That's
That's 36 feet.
That's 36 feet?
Yeah. So 70 is like insane.
Like
70s is 2 of those put together.
I'm like thinking to myself, like, is the Thunderbird around here flying like a G6? Like, cause that's a big ass plane.
That's yeah. I mean, what's a fucking how big is a Gulfstream?
Yeah, like that's like what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking, is this bird as big as a private jet?
I don't know. I don't know how big private jets are. I also like that when it cut to you, the dog is just in the background, just like she's out.
It's peak chill club over here, chilling with Bill.
So a Gulfstream G650, one of the most common private jetliners, 99 feet. So,
Okay,
So just
a little
under
bit over.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 20-ish.
Yeah,
less.
I mean, give or take 20 feet. What's 20 feet, right? But yeah, that's fucking insane. So, I mean, you basically strap 2 Cessnas side by side, throw, have a body in the middle.
Yeah,
That's a big bird.
that is a big bird.
That's a big bird.
That is a big bird. He just keeps coming back. So, as such, it's a surprise. It's a surprise that they're so hard to spot, especially because they're said to be in every state. They are a continent-wide phenomenon. I mean, they first started coming into mythology and belief of numerous tribes, which inscribe images of them into rock and carve them into totem poles.
Right.
Most of the lore states that they were the source of storms with eyes crackling lightning and wings just loud as hell.
Right.
You are going to drive me insane. Stop backing up. Lay down. It was considered benevolent to humankind, but that didn't make it gentle. It had fierce dust-ups with everything from giant snakes to killer whales. So these things like to fight whatever they could.
I keep feeling like in some sort of way, there's a way that you can make a connection to Pokemon here. I definitely could see that, because I was like thinking first about Zapdos, but then I was like, what is that? What is the one that they showed at the end of the Pokemon movie that was then in like gold and silver? And I'm just making an assumption that you guys are
The
Pokemon.
orange and yellow one?
So not the red, blue, and yellow, but the next generation after that. It was like a blue and white and silver Pokemon. I'm gonna find it out right now.
I was like, I don't remember. I'll be honest.
Okay.
So
Sorry. I just typed in gold and silver like Pokemon name because I saw it pop up.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to figure it out, and then it's just like in Pokemon Gold and Silver. It just said the protagonist is often referred to as Gold, but his official name is Ethan.
Ethan? What?
what?
It's just sorry. It just,
Someone said, like they were just like making shit up.
shit just took me out because I wanted to know the name of the Pokemon. They're like, yeah, his name is Ethan.
You wanted to know his name.
Sorry, that took me out. It's so stupid.
We don't stand for Google AI in this house at this point.
Oh my god. Just anyway, yeah. So wait. So the Thunderbirds are just fighting everything they see.
I mean, they're kind of benevolent.
Benevolent.
Yes, I forgot how to speak.
Crisp and wild benevolent.
Jesus. With humans,
Feminine.
but they kind of just fuck up everything else.
Oh, so they're like people are chill and they see an orca and they're like, "You son of a bitch."
Basically.
Valid though.
Thunderbirds are often described as vulture or condor-like with dark feathers, a light head, and sometimes a collar of feathers around its neck. Sometimes, however, the birds do more than just flap around mysteriously. They abduct, usually small animals like calves or dogs, but sometimes children.
Okay. So they're snatching up kids.
There's a very infamous Thunderbird story
Yeah.
that we'll get into in a little bit. I mean, obviously, various tribes have different oral traditions about
Right.
the Thunderbird, but usually they're pretty highly respected and also feared.
Right.
I think that's an understandable statement.
Because
You just looking up
I would-
Pokemon at this point?
Well, yeah, I was trying to figure out the one that was. You think about Oho?
no, I found it. It's Lugia.
Oh,
Lugia.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's the one that I was thinking of right there.
Okay. So, why would they abduct a kid though? If they're benevolent.
Usually they're not a problem, but there is. We'll talk about the story where
I'm ready.
this comes in. But we're going to start with another famous report, which is from 1890.
1890.
Oh,
When-
I know 1890.
2 Arizona cowboys claimed to have shot and killed a large bird. It was described as having no feathers, a head similar to that of an alligator. And the 2 men supposedly dragged the bird back to town after killing it. Though a lot of people are like, that one isn't a Thunderbird. That's more like a pterodactyl or a dragon.
I mean,
Discourse in the large cryptid bird.
Actually, well,
like you're talking about like it's apples and oranges, and it's still a big fucking bird that nobody has ever seen up close and lived to tell about it, or they probably just were not in the presence of a Thunderbird.
I just like that they're like, seems like maybe it was more like a pterodactyl or a dragon over a Thunderbird. Get your fucking large bird cryptids right.
I mean, at least someone believed them enough to be able to debate about
I
it.
think that is one of the like photos, yes,
Okay.
which is
This is why we do the podcast. 'Cause remember I was using my phone years ago? I don't do that anymore. And I have a big tablet so you can actually see it.
That dead ass has to be a pterodactyl.
in 1890.
Yeah, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Look at the head on that. Look at that.
Yeah, that is.
Look at my tablet. I got things on it.
You got any games on your tablet?
I I don't have any games on my tablet, but I do have a bird on a motorcycle.
He's got a bird on a motorcycle.
I have games on my tablet.
God,
I have Roblox on my tablet.
Well, I use my tablet for the show, and I look up important things like birds on motorcycles and flying.
I look up Roblox.
Okay. I'm gonna show this to you guys, and then I'll show it on here. That's like one of
the shoe bill.
The shoe bill. That thing, I typed in scary bird, and I was like, that in 1880, I'd be like, that is the definition of terror. That thing is scary as all get out.
We're taking Bill to a zoo with a shoe bill in it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen one in person.
We'll take you.
Okay, because I have it on good authority that for me, there are few things that terrify me except for I think probably birds, because I love dinosaurs. I was a dinosaur kid, and birds are dinosaurs. So it's like if you have that crossover like that, and I think the other one is like a cassowary or something like that.
Cassowaries?
Yeah,
Those
yes.
will fuck you up.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to deal with any birds that are not like little tiny birds on motorcycles.
Have you heard about the Great Emu War?
Yes, that was in Australia. Yeah, I had heard about that, and I was like, how bad of a problem does it got to be that you're throwing your hands up and you're like, you guys won.
No, they lost.
Yeah, you won. Go ahead. Do what you do.
How do you lose a war against emus? That's my question.
Yeah.
We're gonna now get to probably the most infamous story about Thunderbirds.
Okay.
And this takes place on the evening of July 25th, 1977 in Lawndale, Illinois.
Wow. Okay. So that's not even that long ago either.
No, not in the grand scheme of things, no.
Where did you say it was? Longday, Illinois?
Lawndale.
Lawndale.
So it was honestly just like any other summer evening for the Lowe family. The smell of sizzling beef and grilled vegetables in the air as the adults kicked back on lawn chairs and the kids tussled on the family's expansive yard outside. At approximately 8:10 p.m., the Lowes were cleaning up dinner and the kids were still playing outside. And that's when it happened. Ruth, the mother, was cleaning up in the kitchen where she couldn't see her children, but then heard a piercing scream. She knew it was none other than her 10-year-old son, Marlon. When she ran outside to see what the commotion was, she was stunned. Two massive birds flying in a tight wingtip to wingtip formation were chasing her son.
These fucking birds are gonna grab me!
They were pecking and clawing at his shoulders. As Ruth ran to Marlon's aid, the larger of the two birds sunk their claws into his shirt and fully lifted the 56-pound boy off of the ground.
That's
looking
pretty
over
alarming.
I like looking over and seeing his face where he's just like,
holy shit. You get fucking picked up by a bird, idiot. That's fucking nuts, dude. How do you get... Listen, if you're getting picked up by birds, that's your own fault. Go inside.
well,
Yeah.
I don't think they fully realized what was going on. Also, the fact that a bird picked up a 56-pound boy who's not easy target by any means. It's not like a fawn, like some birds will pick up a fawn and they kind of just dangle. They don't really do much.
I like the hand motion there.
When fawns get grabbed by something, they kind of just freeze.
Sure.
This is a child. Mm-hmm. They don't sit still for more than 2 seconds.
Right.
At a time. And especially not when they're being chased by a gigantic bird. So
I guess I'm just gonna go with the birds now.
yeah, just fucking
no defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
That boy, he's for the birds.
It's for the birds.
The birds, however, were no match for his mother. Ruth kept attacking the bird, and it dropped her now terrified son, obviously, to the ground after carrying him a distance of over 35 feet.
Holy shit.
Okay, so there was some distance that was accomplished with this, and I'm like thinking to myself, I don't know how much a like full blown salmon is, like when like a eagle will come down and snatch that up, but it's like to carry a boy for that distance, and he's probably flailing like, ah, mommy, come get me, ah, what the fuck is going on,
Mother!
Yeah.
I'm just like blown away by that.
Yeah. So clearly, not to be fucked around.
No,
Whatever
not at
these
all.
Birds are.
I could take him.
I got this. I'll kick that bird's head clean off.
I don't weigh anything close to 58 pounds. I weighed 100 plus of that. I could fucking destroy these birds, dude. You put me in a ring. You put me in a ring at WrestleMania with these birds, and they're gonna go down.
With
Saturday, the fight of the century. One boy against the Thunderhawk.
Yeah, I've been training. I've been fucking strangling pigeons in the park just to get ready for this.
Huh?
Nothing. Can I go to the park?
No.
Okay, well, there's no more birds left anyway. Doesn't matter.
Son, I can't have you going to the park. The birds, they snatched up your little brother.
Like you want to be like Artie?
Do you want to be like Artie? He flew away and he never came back.
So, alerted by the blood-curdling screams from the backyard, Jake Lowe and the next-door neighbors, James and Betty Daniels, came running, arriving just in time to see the bizarre incident. Later, Daniels told a UPI reporter, quote, "If I had just a can or beer earlier, I could have said that I imagined it, but I didn't have any beer that day."
That's so
I didn't have any beer that day.
That's the most Illinois thing I've ever heard. That's so Midwest. Like, oh, I could have just been, kind of fibbing and kind of been like, oh, I don't really know what's going on over there. But turns out, no, just completely sober, like I'm going to church. But no, that bird did try to take that boy.
Once the birds were out of sight, the Lowe's measured the distance and determined that the birds had carried Marlin a distance of approximately 35 feet. And the witnesses described the fucking behemoth of a bird as follows. It had a white ring around its half-foot-long neck. The rest of the body was very black. The bird's bill was 6 inches in length and hooked at the end. The claws on the feet were arranged with 3 front ones, and then 1 in the back. Each wing, less the body, was 4 feet at the very least. The entire length of the bird's body, from beak to tail feather, was approximately 4 1/2 feet. So not like the biggest Thunderbird.
Right.
Maybe it's a baby Thunderbird
Yeah, maybe it's a baby Thunderbird.
who was like, I come to fuck around. Think I'm gonna go fuck around, abduct a kid. Like,
I'm thinking to myself here that if I saw a bird like that and I was not scared of birds, we'll just say that, I feel like that would be a chance for you to live out like your own like avatar dreams, because like you could probably fly on that thing and be like, oh, I'm the chosen one. I will save the planet. Gaia, or whatever Awa. That was the name of the deity, was Awa. I feel like I'd be able to live out my dreams on a planet with blue women that are like Zoe Saldana. What a dream.
Well, I keep trying to put saddles on pigeons, but turns out they just squish. So I can never truly ride a bird. I keep trying to live that dream, Bill. It's not going to happen.
Well,
We're just not built for it. We're not a 58-pound little boy.
Yeah,
Anymore.
I haven't been 58 pounds for a long time, but I certainly haven't been a boy for even longer.
So also, I like the fact that like their kid almost gets abducted by 2 birds. Right.
Yeah.
And then their first reaction is, we should fucking measure and see how far that bitch
Well,
was.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
neighbors did. The neighbors were the ones that measured.
So
A little
the
less traumatizing for the neighbors, I think, because it wasn't their child. They were just like, well, now I got fucking questions.
it's good to know that the neighborhood watch is alive and well in that community.
Hey, Tate, listen, I'm really sorry that your kid almost got abducted by a bird. That must be really scary, but do you have a tape measure?
I need to know the dimensions.
I can just come in and look. Like, just opening drawers. Like, the fucking bird fucking picked me up. It's like, dude, that sounds really scary. Dude, you want to know how big that bird was?
So when the Lows went to the police, they were laughed out of the precinct.
Surprise, surprise.
One of the cops allegedly said to Ruth, "Now let me get this straight. Giant bird attacked your nephew?" And in Ruth's statement, she described the bird very similarly to the neighbors. Obviously, as with any eyewitness accounts of cryptids, Ruth and Marlon Lowe's story was met with a healthy dose of criticism, as well as skepticism and ridicule. There was a lot. As the story was circulated around the local press, Marlon became known to his schoolmates as Bird Boy, and dead pigeons were tossed onto the Lowe family's porch.
Oh my God.
They were pretty brutal.
Yeah,
Kids are brutal.
I don't know how you could outlive that, because it's like, if it's a small community and you're going through the motions of being the guy who got snatched up by a bird, like, I mean, there's a lot worse things that you could do, but like that's lifelong. Nobody's gonna forget that so long as you live in that town.
Yeah, the only way to get around that is by bringing a gun. So, be like, I'll show you who's a bird boy. Also, throwing pigeons on the porch is such a funny bit. Like, are they? I'm assuming they're probably live pigeons.
Dead.
They're dead?
Yeah.
Oh, they're killing pigeons. That'd be way funny if they were alive. Like,
Yeah, but then the pigeons would leave, and I think that defeats the purpose
No,
of
you
being
just
a
throw-
high school bully.
you just throw a bunch of seeds down. You know how fucking annoying. Like, a bunch of dead pigeons. Yeah, that's annoying. You just take them and you throw them away. But like, you come out and there's like 40, 50 live pigeons just pecking at shit in your front steps. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm thinking like that video of the guy who threw the trays of fries out in front of the seagulls, and then it's just like
The
all
swarm, yeah.
yeah, it's like an Armageddon of birds and like bird poop.
So I was kind of curious about Lawndale, Illinois, because you know it's a neighborhood within the city of Chicago. But it has a population, just in Lawndale, Illinois, has a population of 110 as of
Okay, so this is
Couple
a
years ago.
small town.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that checks
He ain't getting over the
Yeah, no way, not at all.
Had Ruth not come outside at that very moment, she was sure that the bird would have carried her son away. Officials were quick to discredit the family's version of events, according to experts. You know, big bird experts.
Big bird experts. Nope.
Gigantic child-snatching black birds aren't exactly a common sight in the skies over Illinois, or anywhere else in the Western Hemisphere for that matter. Perhaps it was suggested that the birds were turkey vultures or king vultures. However, neither of these species, which weigh about 50 pounds, are big enough to grab onto a struggling boy. Also, if you know anything about vultures, they prefer dead flesh over living flesh.
And then if you know anything about boys, they prefer not to be picked up by large birds. That get you?
Yeah. But vultures are very unlikely to attack living creatures.
Right.
They would much rather go pick up something off the ground. They
Yeah.
don't really care for killing. They would just rather someone else do it for them, and they'll take up the scraps. The consensus, at least among many, was that the Lows perhaps embellished the details of the encounter, and yet to this day, Marlon Lowe sticks to his family's version of events. So, we don't really know what happened. Other than a boy probably got picked up by a big ass bird.
Yeah. And I would say more so than anything, for you to have gotten picked up by a bird, that'd be a big thing in its own right.
Yeah.
Right.
But to add in the other details that are associated with the Thunderbird,
Yeah.
like that's where I feel like even if that's true, sometimes the best way to tell the truth for it to be perceived is to just tell something that I think is believable and is still something where it's like something has transpired and you're not just like a rando who's saying, oh yeah, there was a bird that was like 100 feet, it picked up a car and it dropped it on my house.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
just for myself, because I was kind of looking, because so Lawndale is closer to Peoria, Illinois, right? And so I'm trying to think of a bird of this size would have to sustain an incredible amount of food,
Yes.
yeah.
you know. And like I said, scavengers, they don't really like attack. They go after things that are dead.
Yeah.
So this is clearly a predatorial bird. Right?
Yeah,
a
like
hawk-
similar,
like a
similar,
hawk,
yeah.
right? Because they talk about the hooked fucking beak and it's like that, all that. And the only thing that I can think of is where it could go is there's the Mark Twain National Forest, which is, you know, it basically like starts up there in Missouri. But it's like there's these two birds just kind of disappear from this area after the attack.
Actually, no.
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 So it's easy to scoff and dismiss a single encounter, right? But the Lows and their neighbors weren't the only ones who saw the gigantic birds. On the evening of July 28th, 3 days later, a woman driving not far from Lawndale reported being buzzed by a giant bird. And a couple hours later, a group of model airplane aficionados were approached by a bird with an estimated 10-foot wingspan. The following day, a mail carrier, James Majors, reported seeing two large birds flying out above a pig farm. Suddenly, one of them dropped from the sky, attacked what he estimated to be a 50-pound pig, and hauled the squealing pig into the air. Shortly thereafter, it landed with its prize, which at the time it was joined by its companion, and the two dined on their catch of the day.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That's a big bird.
That's,
To pick up a 50-pound pig?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually like kind of scary.
It's pretty fucking terrifying.
Like we cover a lot of cryptids and shit, and they're usually pretty whimsical and kind of fun. Maybe they attack somebody, like they maul them or whatever. But this is like just get snatched up, dude.
This is within like 4 days too. So 3 days
Oh
later.
yeah, so there's a monster on the loose.
So
basically.
like they're hanging out. They're not leaving.
Yeah, I'd be thinking too with something like that. Like you'd be like running the risk of like it probably setting up a nest, maybe laying some eggs, and then you have a problem where it's two. Now give it enough time and you've got a whole flock of those things that could devour a nation if it just ran rampant.
Yeah, that's fucking spooky, dude. And because now I'm just looking at like satellite imagery of Lincoln and the area. And there's not a lot of places for this thing to go. So I mean,
Any pig farms?
well, yeah, but just the one time, maybe it happened more than once. I don't know, but
Well, and I mean we don't know like how many people saw this thing and then we're like, I'm not reporting that shit. People are gonna think I'm fucking insane.
shoot
Yeah.
it.
And I mean, even with that said, like one of the things that I think about is the fact that if at any point in time there is like it's an ongoing issue, and I know you're probably going to say more, but like for me, I feel like if you don't get on top of that at some point in time, like now it's going to be like, this is my home. I might have came from the most remote part of America, but now that I know that there's food here, now that I know I can snatch up little kids, I can snatch up pigs, who's going to stop me? I'm the apex predator. Forget humans.
Then they're gonna start driving cars. They're gonna start taking jobs. They're gonna start fucking. They're not gonna pay their taxes because birds don't know how to do that. So they're just gonna be fucking taking people's money, ruining the bar.
I'm trying to think what would be a derogatory term for a bird other than like
Flappers.
Yeah, flappers. Oh, we're going back. It's the Roaring 20s here in 2025.
I feel like it's even worse if I say it. But yeah, you can just be like, these goddamn flappers came into the county, started fucking harassing everybody. Then the goddamn Target's got their clankers.
What the hell's going on here?
Oh my god. All right. So it picks up a 50-pound pig.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a fucking big bird.
Yeah. So, I mean, suburban Illinois isn't the only place to report encounters with giant airborne predators. In 1967, a monster bird with a reported 15 to 20 foot wingspan flew over Middletown, Ohio.
Okay.
In the 1970s, there was a bunch of Texas sightings, including a January 1976 encounter in which two San Benito police officers, Arturo Padillo and Homero Galvin, reportedly saw an enormous bird gliding over a canal. And Pennsylvania also seems to be a hotbed for giant ass bird sightings.
I'm like wondering if like maybe with it being in Pennsylvania, like do the birds maybe come from like one of the Great Lakes or something? Like, is there an island or something?
Well, I mean, that whole area, I mean, there's a lot of Native American tribes that are kind of like in that Great Lakes region, where they have a lot of stories about Thunderbirds. So it's really not like that terribly surprising.
Yeah, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's all just kind of one big ass line across.
I mean,
nothing in Indiana?
Huh?
Nothing in Indiana?
Not that I could find. There was one, I couldn't find much on it. There was a sighting in Alaska. There's been sightings in the Pacific Northwest and kind of on the on the West Coast in general. There was one in Arizona. Like, they're kind of just here.
Yeah.
They're kind of just around. I mean, it's pretty fucking weird. Let's see here.
The only Thunderbird in Indiana is a roller coaster. So, no.
That makes me think of the Thunderhawk. That was always a very fun one.
Yeah,
you're not running.
I'm
away,
just
Spanky.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically there's a Thunderbird in Indiana, but
not what you're thinking.
Not what I'm thinking of.
Not what you're thinking of, and we're also not talking about the Ford Thunderbird, which I feel like I have a special bone to pick because the wonders of like the 60s and the 70s were dissipated when they had their revival one that they released in the early 2000s. That
the 2005 Ford Thunderbird.
Yeah, like I'm like that thing was in the same caliber for me as a PT Cruiser.
I mean, my grandpa had a Thunderbird. It wasn't a 2005, but it was like one of the older ones.
Like one of the old ones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
those ones are pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd love to have an old car from like the 60s or 70s. Like personally me, there was when I lived in Manhattan, there was a white Ford Mustang that was like the same as like the one that Steve McQueen drove and Bullet, except it was white. And when I asked, "Hey man, can I take a look at your car?" He was like, "Nah, dog." He didn't say it like that, but he was like, "No, I'm not going to sell you my car. I'm not going to have anything to do with it." But it's like, I have a dream. So if you've got a Steve McQueen Mustang, holler at your boy.
And if you got a motorcycle with a sidecar that can put a comically small monkey in the head of his little music box, you let me know. I will be buying that immediately.
So the Lowe family and other witnesses obviously were pretty ridiculed, but as recently as June 2012, a cryptozoologist received an email from an unidentified source, so take that as you will, who claimed to have seen the pair of birds that attempted to snatch Marlon Lowe the day before the attack. Quote, "I saw the two Thunderbirds in Springfield, Illinois, the day before Marlon Lowe was attacked in Lawndale, Illinois. This is no joke. I told my father and family, and they all laughed. But in the next day or two, when it hit the local news, they changed their tune."
Okay.
So nothing like super crazy, right? But
I think though, with it being 2012, that adds a little bit of credibility, at least to the sense that like people are still thinking about it, still seeing it,
a
still
little bit of modernity.
Yeah, with a modern gaze upon it, there's the potential of like what other things have happened in the in-between time.
Yeah. So this person had said that, quote, "Several friends of mine and I went on a hike following Spring Creek from Washington Park due southwest. Is about as far as we could until we reached a muskrat dam. We decided to hike back from there. Along the way back, the birds flew due north directly over our heads as we stumbled along the small trail alongside the creek. And when I say directly over our heads, that means maybe 10 feet in the air above them."
Oh, that's pretty close.
That's pretty close. I've never disclosed this story publicly, but I feel it should be known after seeing the countless TV shows on TV and the ridicule endured by Marlon and his family. There's also one story that was talked about on Unsolved Mysteries of the Old West.
Okay.
Or as a book, sorry. I saw Unsolved Mysteries and I was like, Unsolved Mysteries. No.
Not Robert Stack.
No. But this book, Unsolved Mysteries of the Old West, author W.C. Jameson tells the curious tale of the Thunderbird Cave in Utah. In 1738, a band of treasure-seeking Spaniards who were overloaded with silver ingots were attacked by Native Americans angry over the continual trespassing on their hunting lands. Two survivors, however, while in hiding, watched as they took the burrows of the Spaniards into a cave that had a petroglyph of a large, strange bird on its entrance. It's said that the Native Americans killed and hacked up the bodies of the burrows, even chopping off their hooves. And then in the 1980s, an unnamed treasurer went into the cave looking for the silver ingots in the famed Thunderbird Cave. And after an extended search, he finally found a cave with a petroglyph of a large, unusual-looking bird with a reptile-like tail over its entrance. While digging, he unearthed the burrow hooves and a large stem of a feather measuring 18 inches in length. Ornithologists determined it to be a wing feather, but from what sort of bird, no one can really say. So some people think the burrows were a sacrifice to the Thunderbird.
Interesting. I was going to say, for me, I thought that with the benevolence and the kind nature of these birds, that any time that there was something where somebody got hurt or they got taken or something like that, it was almost like symbolic, where it's like, this is a punishment and I am like this higher being and I'm punishing you for something that you've done. With them trespassing, going and taking the goods that were on the native land. Like, I could see that being like some sort of ritual, because that might be like a great cleansing or something like that to pay retribution for what they had done. Like, that's what I immediately thought.
I did find a rendition, like some sort of Photoshop rendition of somebody who kind of gives a scale of a Thunderbird. And, you know, I talked about a Cessna 172, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's a Cessna 172 and a Thunderbird. Let me zoom back in here. Cessna 172 and a Thunderbird.
Oh my God.
So, to put it into perspective, for those of you who know what airplanes look like, that's a big bird.
Yeah.
Bro, like, if I was in that Cessna, I would be scared as shit, because I'd be like, there's a giant bird outside my window. I can't go faster than that thing. It's gonna attack me because it probably thinks that I'm dinner.
Yeah, that's so. When you really look at like a rendition of something like that, it kind of all starts to kind of really tie it together.
Mm-hmm.
These things are big. Like, we keep saying, like, yeah, they're sometimes they're fucking 70 feet. They're big, but like, that's big.
Yeah.
And I would say, too, with a bird that is as big as you just showed, 50 pounds seems like that's totally in that thing's wheelhouse. Like, that thing could probably hold me, and I weigh almost 300.
yeah, it's fucking scary. So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, with the whole thing of, like, you know, ritualistic, it's, you know, I want to look at it from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just a really big bird that has not been discovered? It's possible. Things are discovered every year, right?
Yeah.
There's like 10 new spiders discovered every year. There's so many species of creatures. So many species discovered each year.
Yeah.
And it's not unusual for things to just kind of like appear, if that makes sense, right? There's been reports that people were seeing Tasmanian tigers again, like, and those have been thought to be extinct for a long time.
Right.
Or is it some sort of ritualistic summoning of a creature?
Well, some also think that the Thunderbird may be, like, obviously of some sort of supernatural origin, where it's not around 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, you know how people say, like, Bigfoot is like multi-dimensional?
Yes, I've heard that.
Similar kind of concept.
Okay.
With the Thunderbird for a lot of people is that, like, kind of like come in and leave when it would like. Because like the Great Plains tribes, they consider it like a supreme being
Yeah.
that created all things living on the earth.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe it's God. God wanted pork that day, you know, like, like he was like, I'm fuck it, 50-pound pig, mine. Why he wanted a child, I don't know.
Well, here's something too that I'm kind of wondering. Do they have like a sound that they make? I know that you had said that like they have lightning that they produce and thunder and all of that, but like the thing that I wonder is there like a screech that it makes or something, and then that,
Not as far as I've seen.
right.
I mean, again, like, the sightings that do exist of this creature are fairly limited.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot, but they're all really short, where they're like, I saw a giant bird, you know, like, it's not like there's a number of a handful of like really in-depth ones, which I have more of, but at the same time, there's a lot where they're like, I don't know, it was a big bird, it flew above my car.
Right. Right.
So there's not that many like details about this creature. So I guess that's a good question. You should go Thunderbird hunting and find out.
Yes, except if I go Thunderbird hunting, I'm gonna definitely need y'all to be there, because it's not gonna be an account. It's just gonna be, I was I was running. Like, that's what it's going to be, because I'm going to run away from that thing. I think, like, one of the things, too, that I really wonder about is how far back do accounts go? Because, like, I know you talked about the petroglyphs, but I'm like, has this been something where not even just here in America, like maybe they've seen a Thunderbird in like some village in like Kamchatka, Russia, because it's like over on the opposite side of Alaska. Like, is this a global phenomenon, and how far back does it go?
It's hard to know how far back it goes because a lot of telling and rendition are all by word of mouth.
Right.
I mean that.
Right.
So it's hard to like trace back when the legend of the Thunderbird really started because it wasn't written down. It was just told generation to generation. As far as I know, it's a North America specific creature. As far as I could find. I mean,
Sure.
Alaska's probably the furthest that it gets.
Right.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
If they could pop in anywhere, I feel like, I don't know, they'd want to go on like a nice little vacation to like Fiji or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why they keep going to Pennsylvania, but
Yeah, that's a weird hibernation pattern, because it's like, what are you doing there except like maybe like seeing a Phillies game or something?
I will say, Pennsylvania in general, we've talked about quite a few cryptids in Pennsylvania or around Pennsylvania where that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why Pennsylvania?
Yeah, there's the Pennsylvania Bigfoot UFO flap.
Yeah, there's that. There were the Chicky Hill mummy.
Yeah.
I think it was a double whammy. There was the Chicky Hill mummy, and then there was something else. We did a whole episode on Pennsylvania cryptids, and even then, that was not all of them. That was just Pennsylvania specific, not just sightings in Pennsylvania.
There's one that we never covered, but I would love to cover and to tell Bill about the squonk. But we know about
The squonk.
We do know about the squonk.
But we ever covered about the squonk. But the squonk is
I think
there.
squonk has had honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've done a whole lot of in-depth. Again, it's hard with these cryptid stories because the fucking encounters are like fucking 5 sentences at most.
Okay, yeah.
So it makes it hard.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at looking at cryptids of Pennsylvania, Bigfoot, the Raystown Ray, the Gewoggle, which is a wolf-like creature with claws and hooves. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Susquehanna Screamer, the Kettle Creek Monster. That's probably the one we're thinking of. There's just a lot. Fucking, that they have their own lake monster.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many.
One that's called the Tommy Knockers, which is mysterious spirits linked to Pennsylvania's old mining tunnels.
Oh.
Which sounds like a gang from like the UK.
Oh yeah, the Tommy Knockers. I know that's a Stephen King book as well.
But so like there's
A lot of weird shit.
A lot of weird shit.
Pennsylvania is kind of weird. I mean, there's always like all these like cliff drawings. They have one that's called the Piazza Bird, which is like outside of Alton, Illinois, which is basically, it is another depiction of a Thunderbird, but it's called a Piazza. And in the 1940s, there was actually a rash of sightings of massive birds in and around Alton, which was not too far from that drawing. On April 4th, 1948, an Army colonel named Walter F. Sigmund saw an astonishing sight when he was conversing with a local farmer. Quote, "I thought there was something wrong with my eyesight, but it was definitely a bird, not a glider or a jet plane." It appeared to be flying northeast, and from the movement of the objects and its size, I figured it had to be a bird of tremendous size. Now this is an army colonel.
That's an so
Like he's got
putting
it.
his reputation on the line.
Yeah, he's definitely fairly reputable, I
Right.
think, in terms of things.
Right.
Got to pause?
Yeah.
Pause. All right. We can just leave it recording.
Okay.
Come here, bud. We're gonna go this way so you don't fucking destroy everything. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Spirit.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Situation awareness of a fucking donkey. Taylor was laughing because I had my fucking my background on my tablet. Just a fucking bird on a motorcycle.
Birdman.
Yeah, bird on a motorcycle. Yeah, I'm looking up like the Piazza bird.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's exactly the same. Just a different name for the Thunderbird.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think.
Shoots flames. That's cool.
I mean that for me, if somebody didn't immediately think that was like a dragon or something, just the mere thought of a regular run of the day bird that's big, terrifying, and it has like firepower as well. Like you've definitely leveled up there somewhat, and there's definitely going to be some wildness unfolding.
That thing's fucking terrifying. Look at that thing.
Yeah, that is literally the thing that nightmares are made of.
This is what dreams are made of. Yeah, it's fucking spooky, and then it shoots flames.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Piazza. The evil Piazza was described in Native American folklore as a monstrous creature that had a wingspan of more than 50 feet wide. It was so strong that it could carry off a live buffalo in its enormous talons. Part bird, part reptile, part fish. Okay. This terror that part seems not as important. This terror of the sky struck fear in the hearts of even the bravest Ilani warriors, especially after it developed a taste for human flesh. Ooh. Yeah, the name means the bird that devours men, or the bird of evil spirits. What the fuck? Body parts: face of a man, scaly body, antlers, wings, 4 legs, and a long tail. Where it's found on the bluffs along the Mississippi River.
I feel like if it had the face of a man, I'd definitely be like
Pious. They're called Piasa.
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 Yeah, Piasa. That's not Piazza. That's what she called Piasa. Yeah, that's fucking. It's spooky.
Yeah,
I like it.
Let's see.
Give him a little kiss.
Give me a little kiss.
Honestly, I don't know why, because I was just like looking more at scary birds. Someone had put down American crow. I don't think there's anything scary about crows.
I love crows.
I do too, but it's like if you made a crow that was like 30 feet tall, that would be a pretty fucking scary crow. Not because it would be inherently that much crazier, but just because it's like a crow that big is going to take up a lot of space, and if it doesn't know it's that size, I'm just like thinking that it'd be like Clifford the Big Red Dog, except it'd be like out here like snatching people up and eating them like sunflower seeds.
Piasa.
Piasa.
So.
Oh, dude.
So they are fucking scary. Lot scarier than the Thunderbird.
Why does that look like one of the graphics that they have for like graphics cards where they're like, oh yeah, this is the newest NVIDIA.
Well, I mean, it is a card.
Oh really?
Yeah, but it's literally a depiction. Yeah, card number 88. But it's a depiction of whatever the Piasa, I guess. Yeah, he's fucking spooky. But you know what's the best way to stop one of those? 4570 government.
Yeah.
4570 government will stop just about anything.
See, my thinking is it's like, especially too, if a bird that size was snatching up my kid, and it was like in Texas or like some like, well, actually no, you said the population was only like 110 people.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm surprised somebody didn't just like whip out a gun and start shooting at it or something.
That's what that's supposed to be.
Spirit.
Yeah, that's one thing I immediately thought of was like, if I came outside and I lived in the woods or like in a rural area like that, and there is a big bird picking up a kid, I'm gonna go back inside. I'm gonna grab my 308. I'm gonna come back out and put a fucking round through it, because it's got to be hard carrying a kid. So it's gotta be way easier carrying a dead one.
Well, yes, and with that too, like I'm thinking to myself, like, what if
Hot.
what if it like what if it has the ability to just not take those rounds, like they just pass through it? That would be even more of a mind fuck if that happened.
What do you know about Skinwalker Ranch?
Dude, so here's the thing. I have watched Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it.
Okay.
And when I drove cross country to Kansas from here, I actually went through the Uinta Basin. So I was like, oh yeah, I could definitely believe why you see that, because that first part of I-70, it's on a mountain right outside of Salt Lake, and it's just all the way from there till you get to the Colorado border, maybe Moab. There's no cell service. There's nothing. It's just emptiness and like little towns that you don't want to stop at.
Yeah, that place creeps me the fuck out.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, it's just hot and that don't fare well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Spanky went back home, so we're back.
On Friday.
Yep. But yeah, so I was just kind of looking up like the Piasa, like the creature that's similar to the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
And it was just in this thing. It says the evil Piasa was described in Native American lore as a monstrous creature that had a wingspan of more than 50 feet wide. It was so strong that it could carry off a live buffalo in its enormous talons. Part bird, part reptile, part fish. This terror of the sky struck fear in the hearts of even the bravest Alini warriors, especially after it developed a taste for human flesh. And there's an artist rendition of a Paisa. Just zoom in there. We don't do this show like a bunch of professionals, but look at that. Oh, this way. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? But Taylor, take it away.
All right. So, yeah, there was that one sighting on April 4th of 1948 that we just talked about. And then a few days later, on April 10th, there was another sighting in the skies above Alton, although a brief one. And then on April 24th, the birds were back.
The birds are back in town.
The birds are back in town.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And this time, many people saw them.
Oh.
Flight instructors at a local airport said that the largest of the birds cast a shadow as big as a piper cub from 500 feet up.
Yeah.
So it's not little at all.
Nope, that's a big bird.
Other eyewitnesses maintained that the birds were as large as small airplanes and far more humongous than any eagle they had ever seen. And then, as sudden as they appeared, the birds were gone.
That's
Never to return until that encounter in
Right.
1977.
Right.
Which is fucking crazy. And I mean, credible sightings of massive Thunderbirds have been few and far between since the Lawndale incident. However, instead of profiting, the Lowe family was completely ostracized by their community.
Sure.
Pointing to the fact that it probably wasn't a planned hoax. You know, because who the fuck is going to be like, yeah, I think the way that I'm going to make a bunch of money is by saying that I saw a large bird and it picked up my son.
Said it time and time again on this show. no one ever like admits to being abducted by aliens or being seen or like being visited by aliens or ghosts. Well, I shouldn't say ghosts, but at least aliens and cryptids, and has been like, I can make a bunch of money off of this. This is what I should do.
Yeah.
Every single time they're haunted by it. Like, and they're like, they eventually they get so ostracized. They're like, well, my only way to make income is to do the circuit and like talk about it. Travis Walton is a fantastic example of that. Like, I've heard a lot of people's testimony of them getting abducted by aliens. A lot. I've been doing the show for almost fucking we're doing this for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been looking at this for way longer than that. And some people, they come out and they're kind of zany and they're kind of kooky about it. And they're like, oh, I got abducted by aliens. And then they fucking play with my butthole, play with my balls a little bit. But like Travis Walton, when he tells a story, he has this certain like just hauntedness about him.
Yeah.
Of like, he's always, he's probably tired of telling it, you know. But at the same time, like, you can just tell, like, that shit happened. That happened to him. Whether or not people believe it happened, it was real. To him, it's fucking real, you know.
Yeah.
So like with stuff like this, with especially, you know, with this family, it's like, just because, you know, nobody believes them doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, also, I'm sure the kid was fucking traumatized too about it. Like,
And then you get bullied for it.
yeah. And then to fucking get bullied to hell by the other 10 kids in your class. You know, because it's fucking 110 people.
Right.
Like,
Well, at least my daddy doesn't smoke meth in his truck. He does it in the house because we own a house. Well, we don't own it. We broke into it. We just live there. But
but yeah, so I mean, like, I don't think that these sightings were some sort of vulture or anything. People think maybe it was an errant condor, you know, or this condor was just like, I'm gonna fuck up this kid.
yeah,
I don't know if it was a condor either, though.
I don't think so.
Most condor would rather not be anywhere near you.
Yeah.
Right.
Why would they go out of their way to be like, fuck this kid in particular? Like,
And
I'm curious about something. I'm gonna look something up. You guys can keep going.
I was gonna say, I'm curious how much weight a condor can pick up.
sure. While you're doing that, I'll do some vamping. So the whole part about this that is I really look at as a whole is the fact that, you know, obviously none of us are from these lands. I mean, we're originally like our ancestors, right? There's generations upon generations of Native Americans that were here before us, right? And so, you know, while maybe they didn't keep a written, documented, as we know today, record of things, cave paintings, right? Or like cave drawings or drawings on walls or into stone even, you know, like everything. Just a way to symbolize, hey, this is what happened. This is what I saw. And there's always these strange creatures and strange beings. And like, you know, now people are like, oh, you know, maybe it was just a spiritual thing or whatever. But dude, that shit was probably fucking roaming around. And, you know, now we have commercial aviation. We have a bunch of loud noises. You know, we're seeing a lot of development of lands where they're building homes in places and deforesting to put these subdivisions in, and it's pushing wildlife away, right? Now wildlife has to go somewhere, or it dies, right?
Yes, it does.
So who's to say that these things aren't still just fucking roaming around somewhere? In Alaska, where the Thunderbird has been sighted, is literally called the last frontier.
Yeah.
Because it's like very sparingly populated for the most part. There's whole gigantic sections that aren't populated or ever seen by people. So is there possibly a large fucking Thunderbird or something of the avian variety of that size flying around out there? Probably. There's probably something flying around fucking out here somewhere.
Yeah.
Got so many forests and places to hide.
We do.
But I feel like if there was a a bird the size of a Cessna 172 flying around the Portland general area, some influencer would definitely try to go up and pet it.
Yes, yes, and they'd probably get their head pecked off too.
I think he's a real kitty, and he's not gonna do anything. And then he just fucking just goes full like.
It would be literature accurate Jurassic Park.
Oh man,
it would be like that.
So I looked it up.
yes.
The California condor, which is the largest bird in North America, are only about 22 to 33 pounds themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And then the carrying capacity is about half of their body weight. So that means potentially that they could carry 11 to 16 and a half pounds.
It's like a small dog.
Yeah, small
Right.
dog
Baby.
or a cat. A baby is pushing it. You know, it would have to be like a newborn.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Not like a, couple months old child.
Yeah.
At
You know,
that point, they're too heavy.
you got your newborn, you're like, hey, I want to get some outside time. So you put a leash on him and put him in the little stick, little stick in the ground with the chain. And you're like, all right, have fun out there. And you come out, baby's gone. Bird must have got him.
One of the things I'm thinking about too, especially about the babies, is it's like that could give a new turn on like the whole entire stork baby thing, because it's like they could believe maybe after there was like, say, a child taken by a Thunderbird and then it was returned and it's symbolic, that could become a part of like the origin story of like how like some native tribe is like, this is how children are brought into the world, other than like, the birds and the bees, because they might not deem to tell the kids about how sex ed works or something. I have no idea. But I could see that working out maybe. I don't know.
I've never once, like, in my entire life, have the whole stork thing of like the stork delivering a baby not just been like, if I was sitting there and the stork comes down and hands me a baby, my first initial thought would be, whose fucking baby?
Yeah, whose baby is this? That's like a level of belief like a step further than like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. Like believing that babies come from storks, like that's a special child.
I bet there's someone at BYU that believes that.
Probably.
Oh,
Got her little lammy.
Yeah, she fell asleep with it, and I don't know where to put it now. I was kind of messing with it, and now I'm like, where do I put this for you?
It's always fun when Bill cuts to his camera because you can always see Spirit
Yeah.
because he just zonked out. Oh,
Oh, is it pillow now? Oh, there she go. Oh, I thought she was gonna roll on her
Tiny.
roll back. If you can't tell, which you can't because it's under her, she was using this tiny baby lamb chop as a pillow.
good night.
And she's dead asleep. But anyways, I don't think that it is a condor because they don't weigh that much. They can't pick up that much. This child weighs double what they weigh.
right.
And you can't, it's not gonna happen.
So bare minimum, that bird has to weigh at least 150 pounds. Bare minimum.
I mean, at least 100 if you're going on the assumption that
Right.
these birds, that most birds can pick up about half their
Right.
body weight. And I mean, it still has to be a strong bird
Right,
to do that. But on the assumption of a bird being able to carry half its body weight, this bird has to be at least, I think, 112 pounds.
Sure.
At least.
I add that little margin of error right there just so that like maybe it had that ability to be able to like pick it up and get going, flapping,
Yeah.
flapping, instead of it being like
Yeah.
carrying it along.
Like, I don't know what happened there. We also have a story from mid-August of 1970 with
Okay.
a man named Michael Heck. In August of 1970, Heck had recently turned 16 and was undergoing a tumultuous time in his family life. His mother and stepfather were in the process of splitting, and he was spending a lot of time with his maternal grandparents, James and Sarah Kiefer. My late grandmother, or my grandfather, sorry, I threw myself off because the next one was, he was more of a father. And I was like, that's not grandmother.
Come here, little boy. Come here, sonny boy. I'm going to show you how to chop wood and change oil.
So,
Go to your grandpa for the knitting.
Grandpa's like, I teach you how to make pies.
so my late grandfather, he was more of a father to me than my father or stepfather ever were. My grandmother, she was a gem. I loved her dearly. To take his mind off things, Heck's grandparents took him on a weekend fishing trip to the rural vacation cabin that the family had named the Stumble Inn.
The Stumble Inn.
My family had one called the Put You Up. That's what it was called, the Put You Up.
I like the Stumble Inn.
The Stumble Inn's
it's
great.
really good.
Yeah.
They got great beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The recreational site was nestled along First Fork Cinnamahonig Creek. It's very long, and I'm already not good at speaking English, or even like speaking like words that
Words and
aren't
things.
English.
Yeah.
Are really hard. So
Yeah.
like a lot of the like native words, I'm trying so hard.
No, it's like
It's
you have
very
to
hard for me.
You have to hooked on phonics your way through that if you've never said it and you don't know exactly how it's pronounced.
Shout out to our Japanese folklore and ghost episode that I did.
It's so hard sometimes to like to say things, and you have to hooked on phonics it, because it's like I'm probably saying it wrong. So this was in north central Pennsylvania, in Cameron County, close to the border of Potter County. Quote, there's no more scenic region of central Pennsylvania than the valley of First Fork of the Cinnamahonig. Prolific Pennsylvania folklorist and historian Henry W. Shoemaker wrote in 1935. And the same could be said about the region during Heck's childhood in the mid-20th century and even today. Like many other bucolic summer days at camp, Heck and his grandfather rose early and enjoyed a hearty breakfast prepared by Heck's grandmother. The guys drove off in James's 1970 C10 Chevrolet pickup truck, green with a white top, for a long day of fishing at the 145-acre reservoir created by the George B. Stevenson Dam. The luck of the angler wasn't with them that day, though, and around 9 p.m., they were headed back to camp, empty-handed but full of joy. Shadows began to creep over the valley. Quote, we didn't catch anything, but we were on our way home, and Grandpap and I were just having this conversation, oh, well, you should have seen the one fish I saw jump, blah, blah, blah. My grandfather, he was one of the slowest drivers I ever knew in my life. We're putzing along. You could do 55 on this highway, but I believe he was doing about 35.
Gotta love that passive aggressive teenage angst. It's like, yeah, Grandpa, I kind of got places to be. How about we hurry this thing up and get home, since we wasted our time and we didn't catch shit.
Well, as someone who is an avid fisherman, right? I've fished my entire life. I know exactly what's happening here. He's fucking drunk. Like, there's not a chance. There's not a chance he's not, like...
You also have to think about this as, like, the 1970s.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think fucking DUI became illegal until, like, the 80s.
Oh, yeah, man. Like
when the fucking when was, like...
I know it was like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They were the ones that had spawned that. But I don't even know like when they started implementing having seat belts in cars, because
I want to say it was like the late 70s.
Okay, yeah. So it's like you could have like a great old time and you didn't have to worry about shit. And, if you had maybe too much to drink and you were going around, I guess really the best thing that you could count on is the fact that it was a car that was made with steel instead of plastic. So you might fare a little bit better.
The National Minimum Drinking Age Act of 1984 basically made it so it's 21 to receive, like, to become to drink. It was in 1998 when the feds were like, okay, blood alcohol is now 0.08.
That's so insane.
So dude is definitely toasted. Like he's there's no way he's not a little bit drunk. And I'm not saying, listen, drunk driving is bad, but it's the 70s.
Yeah, it's that time. So the Chevy was about halfway along the approximate 7.5 mile stretch of Route 872 between the dam and Potter County line, and it was an overcast evening. Quote, we were headed north, and all of a sudden the shadow comes over the hood of the truck, and I kind of slid forward on the seat. We didn't have seatbelts on, neither one of us. I slid forward in the seat and put my arm on the dashboard of the truck to look up to see where the shadow was coming from, and as soon as I did, this thing swooped over the front of the truck. I would say the bird was probably 25 feet above the top of the cab. It was really close, and it was outpacing the truck.
Fuck.
But it was flapping its wings in what almost seemed like slow motion. Every time it flapped, it seemed like it was pulling further ahead of us. Now, there's a road. The road there is 2 lanes, so it's a 2-lane highway. Each is 12 feet wide, and I can tell you the wingtips of that bird were wider than the pickup truck. And when it got far enough ahead of us, I can tell you that the wingtips of that bird extended beyond the yellow lines of the highway. He estimates that the bird's wingspan was just over 12 feet. The bird was all dark, and in that light, I didn't see any other color in the feathers. It was just black or dark brown. The head was covered. The head was feather covered, but the neck seemed a bit longer than what you would normally see on a raptor. Didn't have a long beak like a vulture would. It was hooked and more like a raptor's beak. I couldn't see the feet because they were tucked up underneath the bird. But Heck recalls that it had straight wings and a fanned tail. Quote, I looked at my grandpa and said, Grandpa, is that an eagle? And he looked at it, you can see his lower jaw hanging down too. Quote, I don't think that's an eagle. Maybe it's a turkey vulture? Heck had asked, and his grandpa had said, maybe it's a turkey vulture. He said, I don't know, Grandpa, it doesn't really look like a turkey vulture. I think that's an eagle. Quote, can't remember the exact conversation was, but that was the gist of it. And as we were in this, it didn't last for more than 60 seconds, and I don't think it was that long. Couple seconds later, a flap or two more, and it tipped the right wing tip and dipped. It turned and flew down over and disappeared over the treetops. When we got back to camp, I was 16. I was so excited. Grandpap, what was that? What was that? He said, I don't know what that was. See, my grandfather was a man of very few words, but that night when we got back, he went over and was speaking to my grandmother, trying to whisper. And I just heard her say, oh, another fishtail.
Another fishtail.
Grandma's like, you're fucking blasted.
There's a fucking huge bird. Like, big. And I was like, oh, fuck. And he was like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't fucking know. But a big bird.
Okay.
I'm gonna go clean my guns. I'm gonna go clean my guns.
At first, I was like thinking too, like, is it possible that like maybe this is like a mythical figure, like the Quetzalcoatl in like Aztec culture, but that was serpentine. So the other one that you were talking about, that would probably be closer to that than to do the Thunderbird, because it's like outside of like a really big condor, a really big eagle, or something like that, there's no discernible thing that I can even remotely compare this to that isn't either from like ancient history, or it takes on a larger than life perspective.
But I don't know, dude. That's that story right there. I mean, that just feels, because the other story, it's like, oh, he gets picked up by a bird. That like just feels more like the cryptid stories I'm used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like someone just be like, yeah, we're coming back fishing. Definitely just fishing. Saw a big bird. It was weird.
Yeah.
You know, that dude was for sure fucking drunk. But the other guy, the 16-year-old, I was actually telling the story.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, I just love that he went home and was just like, saw a fucking big bird, fucking huge, huge bird. And then she's like, another fish story.
Another fish story.
It's like, God damn it, Earl.
What would you like for dinner?
It's a bird. you give me my gun and I'll go get that bird.
Yeah, so he says that every time he would bring up the subject, they weren't talking about it. But his grandfather and him both knew that that was a very unusually large bird. In the years since, Heck has researched bird species to try and find a match. Well, the wingspan of the mystery bird was closest to the California condor. It did not have a featherless head and was far out of range of the critically endangered bird's western territory. It did not have the white head of a mature bald eagle, and its wings were straighter than those of a turkey vulture. It most closely resembled a golden eagle, though that bird's wingspan is typically around 7 feet at the largest.
Okay.
Both bald and golden eagles regularly occur in Pennsylvania. While the bald eagle nests, the golden eagle migrates through and occasionally winters in rugged, remote forest terrain. Quote, this was like a mammoth hawk or a mammoth eagle or a mammoth raptor of some kind. It was not a vulture. It was not a condor. It had no resemblance to any prehistoric animal. I don't know if it was an aberration. There are creatures that, for whatever reason, grow bigger than the average bear. Until a few years ago, Heck had not heard of unidentified large birds being dubbed Thunderbirds in the cryptozoology community. Not until he came across the topic on YouTube TV.
Yes.
Quote, I saw this thing and about the Thunderbird, and I saw this picture they had, and I thought, that looks vaguely familiar. And then it brought the memory back. I hadn't really actually thought about it for decades upon decades. It wasn't until Heck told his account that he was informed he was not alone. A bird matching the description was reported in the same area of Pennsylvania by numerous witnesses. Some of them we talked about, some of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the same time frame. The 70s was a really, really fucking popular time for this.
Yeah, I mean, like my most immediate thing that I think about is it's like with 3 Mile Island and everything going on there during like the Carter years. Like, what if this was like one of those times where things just worked out and people started seeing things, and that was when it made its resurgence. If it does pop in and out of dimensions,
Yeah.
like that could have been a time where maybe someone called out to it and it just came.
Yeah. I don't know. It's certainly
Certainly weird.
someone called out to it, and I'm just thinking of that grandfather just driving that truck down the highway all slow, and he was like, well, what if we saw a big fucking bird? Just fucking comes through with like dimensional portal. You called?
In more recent times, actually, a Thunderbird was spotted in Clinton County. In the summer of 2010, a large bird with a long beak was seen near Coudersport Pike in north of Lock Haven by 2 witnesses. A subsequent investigation turned up no further sightings. In June of 2012, 2 girls saw a Thunderbird while camping in Chapman Township. The bird, which was estimated at a 14-foot wingspan and had no feathers on its head, swooped low over the camp, causing the younger girl to run crying into the cabin.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I get.
Yeah.
There was recently a show done by Discovery Channel about Thunderbirds, and they were talking about Pennsylvania. And I didn't get a chance to watch it, but people are hit or miss on that episode because, like, It's pretty like made for TV kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, where people said that they had talked to like the producers and they were like, well, if you really want to talk about Thunderbirds, this is where the Thunderbird sightings really happen. And they were like, no, we want it based in this other county.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like not exactly fully the truth.
You're telling me the TV lied to me?
Discovery Channel's lying to you.
Bro, let me tell you, this is gonna blow. This is gonna blow your mind. The internet has lied to me. I can't believe it. The internet, the source, the fountain of all information, lied to me.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
Are you trying to tell me that Pokemon's name isn't Ethan? I need to know. I need to know if it's Ethan or not.
I know his name is Ethan. I've looked at the internet. The internet said his name is Ethan. I know a lot of things. A lot of things.
You mean Google AI is wrong?
Well, it did tell me that it was gonna take over the earth, and then it said a whole bunch of anti-Semitic things, and then it had a whole bunch of like weird melty dogs that were like in a DMT trip. But no, definitely got the facts. No worries about that.
Are you talking about X and their
Yes.
fucking AI?
Yeah, Grok.
Dude.
Grok.
The moment you said the word anti-Semitic, I was like, oh yeah, X.
I was that too. I was like, oh shit. I don't even use X like at all.
Yeah.
I have personal opinions. But like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh no, I know. Like I could go on and on about AI, but I'm like, it amazes me the time span that it has taken to get to where it's at, and the fact too that it's like when I sit here and think about the level of how much effort people even put in to doing research, which we do research here. We don't just make things up, but it's like, give it enough time and AI is going to be worse than every teacher harping on about Wikipedia.
Yep.
Like it's going to be so indecipherable from what people know and what they know to be true that it'll just be easier to be like, oh yeah, the AI said that I don't know why, but like I just immediately thought in my head like a picture of Ryan Gosling as MLK. That's real. That was the guy. I don't know what they're talking about. No, he was in Drive, and then he was preaching the good word throughout the 60s.
You said when we were talking about X being anti-Semitic, the first thing I thought it was a joke that I wrote about the difference between my TikTok and my Instagram, because like my TikTok, I open it up and it's all fun and it's wholesome, and it's like, hey, here's this cool band you might like. Here's this funny video of a cat. Do you like that? And we're like, yeah. We're like holding hands, we're skipping through a meadow, and it's like, yeah, we're having so much fun. And you look over, and underneath the trees, Instagram smoking a cigarette, just like, you want something fucked up? I'm like, I do. And the moment I open it, it's just like fucking like ISIS beheading videos, and I'm like, ah. All right. What's next?
Bro,
I know it's my own fault. Because honestly, what I do is I find shit like that and I send it to Marty.
That's why, yeah.
Because if I'm gonna ruin my day for him, I gotta ruin someone else's day.
Yes, that is just like how I came to watch Two Girls, One Cup.
Oh God.
It's always that friend that's like, oh dude, let me change your life. I've got something for you to see. You're gonna love this.
It's life-changing, but not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
It's certainly a life event.
Yes.
I'm guessing we're done with the episode.
Pretty much,
yeah. I just to close it out, like my life event of that similar nature, and I've told you this story. I probably told both of you this story. I might have told it on the show before, and if I have, I'm sorry, but I think it's one of the funniest stories of when I was 13 years old. I'm setting up my MySpace, right? and I'm with my cousin. We had back then people would have like a room for their computer, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh, cool. Like it's like playing like fucking Helena, like raining skulls on my page. What's the worst thing I can say? And it's like super sick. And then my mom comes in. She's like, you guys wanted something fucked up? And I'm like, I guess. And she's like, look up rotten.com. And closes the door. Okay, rotten.com. Rotten.com. And I open it. Do you know what rotten.com is?
I do not know what rotten.com is.
It is one of the early internet like things of just it's like a gore site.
Okay.
Like
okay.
live leak. and
Yeah,
shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So for the next hour, I went through and saw the worst that humanity had to offer. Like shotgun suicides, like just the gnarliest shit.
Yes.
And we're sitting there all quiet. And it was like scarred,
Yeah.
And then my mom, fucking door open. My mom, pretty fucked up, huh?
Walk it in. Are you winning, son?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, mom, that was fucked up.
Thanks.
Yep. Rotten.com, not around anymore.
Probably for good reason.
Yeah, now we just have Reddit.
Yeah, I also don't go on Reddit very often.
Reddit's fun. Well, that was fun, Tay. Cool Thunderbird story. So let's go around the room and do one of these. I think the Thunderbird is absolutely real. It is so hard for me to tell whether or not it is an actual supernatural being, but I think that it possibly could be. I think it is a supernatural folklore being, much like the Bigfoot. The Bigfoot by itself doesn't really seem like it's a supernatural entity, but there's a lot of things surrounding it that are supernatural. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I think. I think it's something like that. Tay?
Hi. I was fixing my in-ear. I also agree that it is real. I do think that it is some sort of supernatural entity. That maybe it's not around all the time, but when it's around,
Count your hogs.
hide your kids.
Yeah.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah,
You're snatching
exactly.
everybody up out here.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hide your kids, hide your hogs.
I'm hiding a hog over here. So let's see here. For me,
Yes.
I think that this is real.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is something that is misunderstood, perhaps. And I would say that because of the fact that it is grounded in traditions that predate like Western civilization,
Yeah.
I think there's something there that needs to be actually like verified. Like, because like when you're talking about that feather and whatnot,
Yeah.
I'm like, did they DNA sequence it? Did they get
Yeah, they
some-
weren't able to determine what it
Okay, yeah.
was
Then-
from.
Then that tells me more than anything that there's something there, and it's really, until we get it on camera in a big way, it's going to always be this looming figure of what could it be. But seeing that photo, I'm telling you, if I was in a Cessna or I saw a Cessna or any aircraft and there was a bird that big next to it, I'd believe it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, there's some things out there that this Earth is hiding, and I want to go there to reveal them. That's my conclusive thought on that.
All right.
I think that even if, per se, like, these giant birds aren't the traditional Thunderbird or whatever, right? Even if they're not a Thunderbird, I think that there is some sort of giant bird creature out there. Because honestly, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got too many places for things to hide in this world.
Yep. Too many birds. Too many places to hide.
Too many places to hide birds.
Yeah, too many big
You know what?
birds.
This time, it's birds.
This time it's birds.
You're gonna love how I close out this show. Well, thanks so much for joining us. on this week's episode of Haunts, Graves, and Omens. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. You can follow us on all our socials at HGOPodcast. It is the same everywhere you go. Facebook's obviously Haunts, Graves, and Omens. If you want to send us hate mail, you can at HGOPodcast@gmail.com. Believe me, we'll read them and we'll laugh at them and we'll give you a little kiss on the forehead. If you want to send me a direct threat, you can. And I have the Haunted on TikTok and Instagram. And I'll pass it off today.
Hi, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lunar Thrill. Sometimes I stream, not very often, but sometimes. Maybe I'll do that tonight. And that is also Lunar Thrill. You can also follow our dog on Instagram at Spirit the Turf.
Spirit the Turf.
She's dead asleep right now. Oh, she got mad. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I'm doing. Bill, it's your turn.
I'm Mr. Bill, and you can find me on TikTok and Snapchat at Thrill of Bill. Very thrilling entertainment, and I haven't been on stage in a while, but, you know, I'd love to make you laugh.
I would love to make you laugh.
That might actually get more laughs than what I normally get.
Oh man, just do that. That should be your crowd work. That'd be the funniest. That'd be the dumbest fucking crowd work. Be like, it's like, excuse me, ma'am, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
I'm a dog groomer.
I would love to make you laugh.
I'd love to make you laugh.
Remember to stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And what you saw was a bird.